Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, back to The Spoken. I'm your host, Terry Love. Right next to me, I have my co-host here. I have Mr. Lance Twidwell, the original creator of The Spoken since 2010 on Facebook. And to my left here, I have Derrick Williams here, Mr. Mo Can, AAU coach. So, ladies, gentlemen, let's talk about NBA right now. This is the closing time for the NBA playoffs right now. So the main question that's on everybody's mind is who should win the MVP of the NBA right now? Let's start with Derrick again. I like that.
This is a tough one for me. I don't want to be too biased.
I'm going to start real quick, just in case you guys don't know. This is a fans show, so this is a Lakers fan here, Chicago Bulls, and Miami Heat fan right here. So we'll see what happens here.
If I had a vote, I probably would give it to Kobe Bryant, just because what he's done this year with the wrist injury to start off the season kind of hampered him. The Lakers, losing, Phil Jackson, and then the way they kind of went out in the playoffs was embarrassing and a joke to basketball. But the guy is set probably in the next 8 games here to become the oldest player to ever lead the league in scoring, which is a true testament to this guy's overall body of work throughout his career. And I mean, for the last decade, this guy's been in every MVP discussion down the stretch this time of year. So I think with what he's done, and some nights putting a team on his back, kind of at the start of the season with the trade, and then you had a mentally weak Pau Gasol who moped and pouted for months and months and wasn't even playing good basketball. Andrew Bynum kind of up and down to start the season. Metta World Peace, we didn't know if he was thinking about the liquor store or thinking about or playing basketball. Derek Fisher, a 48-year-old point guard. And then Mike Brown coming in, a new coach. And Kobe had to take a lot of, put a lot of weight on his shoulders and kept his team. Well, a lot of people said that this team was maybe 6th or 7th in the West, and now they're in the 3rd spot. And I think they definitely got a chance to really do some damage in the playoffs. Kobe would definitely get my vote as MVP, and then I think after that, if I had to pick someone after that, it definitely would probably be Derrick Williams.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
I think that was a stab at me, but we'll go with it. The guy I think should win this, and I have to be real with you guys, I go against popular belief, not just to be a contrarian, not just to be a guy that just wants to say something to rile people up. But I truly believe that people miss out on a lot of what value really means. Right. And I think that Kevin Love brings a lot of value every single night. His efficiency, it's unbelievable. That franchise would almost be contracted if it not for him being drafted a few years back. And they were nothing after or before KG, and then after KG left.
Right.
So, Minnesota had nothing, to look forward to. And Kevin Love has brought not only just a name to that city, but has brought a guy that you're almost guaranteed to see 25 and 15 a night. So that's the guy I would say initially should win. He's not going to win. Let's just clarify that. He's not going to win this MVP race. The guy. So if we're going to talk about people that are legitimately going to win this, it's going to be LeBron James. And the reason why I say that is because LeBron James is the most critiqued player in the entire league. Since the decision, no other player, maybe in history, has ever been more critiqued about his game. No matter how good he plays, he doesn't win in the eyes of fans. Sometimes even in his own fans. Yeah. So this guy has carried the load for the most part. I know everybody says, well, Lance, he has other superstars on his team. He has this and that and that and this, and these guys don't and all that. Let me stop you right there. Because LeBron James, without Dwayne Wade this year, the Miami Heat are 10-1 without Dwayne Wade, who a lot of people consider the best player on this team. So to me, that tells me LeBron James is the guy that's carried the load. Not to mention, has the highest efficiency rating in a single season of all time if the season ended right now. Wilt Chamberlain holds it for an entire season from beginning to end. LeBron James, if it stopped right now, would have the highest efficiency rating. So that means that every single night, the guy is giving you his very best. Not to mention, is a guy that can give you the best on both sides of the court. We don't know whether he's a better offensive player or defensive player. He might be the first player to ever win Defensive Player of the Year and MVP in the same season. So to me, this guy, and I know what you're saying about Kobe. I understand that. There was a lot of things that Kobe had to bring on his back, with injuries and his age. But Kobe Bryant has also shot more than some guys have missed. I mean, there's just some things that Kobe has done that make you go, is it really value, or is it just him being like an Allen Iverson? And I hate to be like that, but it's just the truth.
I think when you talk about MVP, how can you say LeBron in the discussion if we're talking about most valuable? But how you're valuable to your team if you won't take shots in the clutch. You know what? How valuable are you? I mean, if you're going to defer to Dwayne Wade after you're working on a 40-point night and Wade's working with 8 points, and you want to defer to him. Now, how valuable are you to the
And I'll answer that. I will answer that. I will say this, that I would rather have the guy that leads me to a higher lead for the first 46 minutes than the guy that has to get me out of it for the last 2. Kobe Bryant keeps his team in the game, but he has to constantly, if you notice, guys, if you watch Lakers, they're always having to have a nail biter. They're always having to have that last shot because they keep the games close. LeBron James, if you notice, you watch the Heat when he's off the court and he's on the bench, how this team struggles to get anything going on offense. But as soon as he gets in there, you see a 7, 8, 10-point lead all of a sudden. And then why? Because he gets the ball moving, he finds the open man every single time, or he just flat out scores himself. So I'd rather have the guy for the first 46-minute segment to get me a lead, comfortable lead, than have to have a guy that has me wondering, are we going to win or are we not? I hope he makes the shot.
I mean, but if he's getting you the lead and then you're still losing, it's no different from the Lakers in the nail biter and still losing. I mean, it's still in sports we have wins and we have losses. So that really, if you take LeBron James off the Miami Heat, they still will be one of the top 3 teams in the East because you'll have Dwayne Wade, which is one of the top 5 players in the world, and you have Chris Bosh, who's one of the top 10 players in the world. You take Kobe Bryant off the Lakers and leave them, who are going to be led by Andrew Bynum and Ron Artest and Open Pau Gasol. Let's see if they're the 3rd seed in the West.
All right,
let's go.
Next question. Who is the sleeper team in the playoffs from the East and the West? Start with you, Lance.
In the East, I don't think there really is a sleeper team. I think that we kind of have an understanding of who's going to be there and who's not. I think the East is probably a ton more predictable than the West is. I think the West has been wide open all year. I think we're starting to see some teams form in the West. But as far as the East, if I had to choose a sleeper team, no, I don't. Okay. I'm not one of those that follows the hype of New York. Because if you look, if you even watch ESPN, you'll see they're up, they're down, they're up, you don't know what the Knicks are going to be. So I'm not confident in them. I think if there was a team that is a sleeper, it's probably going to be the Atlanta Hawks. I think they're a team that is young talent, potential. I think if they had Al Horford, they'd be more than a sleeper. I think they could be a team that could really make some noise. But I think that would probably be the sleeper. In the West,
I'll probably got to go with 76ers over the East.
Really? I mean, the reason I don't say 76ers is because I think they've been a disappointment all year. I don't think that they really lived up to it, and I don't see how they would do it in the playoffs when it means most. I mean, all season long, they haven't really shown us anything. I think they individually, you have Iguodala, who's such a great defender. But other than that, Drew Holiday and guys like that haven't taken that next step. But in the West, I think, and I've been high on this team all year, and now they got Zach Randolph back, I got to go with the Grizzlies. I think this is the team that matches up with all the top teams in the West. If you look at the Thunder, they don't have inside scoring like the Grizzlies do. If you look at the Spurs, they don't have inside scoring like the Grizzlies do. If you look at even the Lakers, because I know Bynum's really taken a step up, and I'll give him credit, but if you look at even some of his best games, very few have you seen him score over 25, 30 points a game. You'll see him get a lot of rebounds and all those. That's great. It really is, and he's gonna be the guy that makes most noise of all centers. But the Grizzlies have 2 guys in Zach Randolph and Marc Gasol that can really.
Yeah, but I think if you can probably count maybe on 2 fingers the times that Marc Gasol's probably scored over 25.
That's why I said the Zach Randolph the duo.
So
of those 2 guys.
Who are your choices be East and West?
The East, the teams out of nowhere. I mean, I wouldn't say out of nowhere. They won the championship a few years back. It's got to be right now playing the best basketball at the best time of year is the Boston Celtics. This is a team that is well coached. This is a team that has veteran leadership. And this team that has a solid bench.
Right.
And they have
Are they a sleeper though? Because I think they're kind of alive. I think they're a team that's on the rise.
Well, after the whole Rajon Rondo situation, they kind of could put on the back.
They were talking about depleting the team.
This was a team that about 2 months ago they were talking about blowing up.
Right.
I mean, and now they've went out and beat the Heat twice in a matter of weeks.
Convincing fashion too.
I mean, they have a winning pedigree. Mm-hmm. I don't think you can teach. They have a winning pedigree. Right. They've shown they can win. They've done something that the Miami Heat haven't done, and that's win a championship.
Absolutely.
So I mean, you can't be.
So you would say the Celtics.
So how about the West? What would you say?
The West, my team out West, I'd probably have to say the Grizzlies. But I really just want to keep an eye on the Clippers. I'm a Laker fan. I'm not ready to write the Clippers off.
Right.
They have some really dangerous weapons. Anytime you got Chris Paul, you're going to have a chance to win every night.
Right.
Absolutely.
They have Blake Griffin. They have DeAndre Jordan. They have Caron Butler. They have guys that you have to really take very seriously. You can't overlook them. I mean, because they have talent.
Right.
I mean, on any given night, they have enough talent to beat anybody in basketball, and I think Oklahoma
Can vouch for that, right?
All right, okay, so those sound like some good picks here. Once again, we're out of time here for this segment here, but stay tuned for part 2 of the NBA Talk, and we'll go over some more questions with these two. Mr. Lance Twidwell to my right here, Derrick Williams to my left. Thanks for joining us here on The Spoken. Thanks for joining us. Thanks.